Hi everyone. Okay, Pisces. Mid-month, right? Any of you who are new to Opal Oracle, welcome. And those returning, hi. Okay, Pisces. Strangely, you and Aquarius are the last two signs. I used dowsing to pick them. So technically you're at number 11, which breaks down to the High Priestess. The 11 is also justice. There's something about you trusting the fate of the situation. Like, this is beyond, whatever's happening right now is in a way beyond you. And there is something important about Aquarius. Aquarius is I know. Also, when I pulled it, I pulled from two different decks, but it ended up the same amount of cards, and basically was expressed that one of them was your reading and one of them was Aquarians, but it was like the same space, same time, like as if they were supposed to be intertwined. So I'm sure that there's a message in there for you. I haven't recorded it yet since they're number 12 and hence you're 11, but here we are. Now, I think Saturn's really doing a number on a lot of people. Beyond Saturn, and I'm no astrologer by any means, and I'll put a link down below to the woman's, I guess, dissertation that she was speaking upon, that had to do with Pluto. I don't even know if I'll be able to say it right. It's like Jupiter squared Pluto, but it's all connected to the North Node and the South Node, which right now is in Leo and Aquarius. Leo is the North, Aquarius is the South. But the point is that this situation hasn't happened since 1900 or something. Technically, all of these elements together. Slightly speaking, 1970s. So those of you who are alive then, there's something about that too. And those who were not, it's like whatever's happening, I guess, to your parents or just in the world at large. But that's a lot of energy. Think about that time, those times. So I think that you have a lot of earth here. The only other situation is cups. Your cups are in the reverse. Most people's cups this month are in the reverse. Pentacles are usually in the reverse also, it seems to be. There's something about reestablishing what it is, like Saturn, Pluto, etc. Jupiter and Pluto. Yeah, let's expand the dark forces, but let's also not really talk about it and be scorpionic. Because the thing is like, and this woman said it right, like, if we just continue to sit in this, like I'm so perfect, love and light, everybody, sweetheart, la la la. No, we'll never, ever, ever fucking grow. You have to be uncomfortable to grow. That's what the birthing process is. Talk to a mother, anybody who's ever had a child and gone through childbirth. I'm pretty sure I haven't technically, but I can imagine. I'm not giving more power to the female by any means, but there is something about that, like, and there are more females here than there are males in the cards. So, but the male, it's funny, the only person that's in the upright on either sex is this young man, but he doesn't know how to, like, stand up straight. You know what I mean? Like, he's having it's extremely challenging and energetically draining for him to keep this position. Okay? It would be easy for him to be like, whoop, whoop, because it's just so, again, it's imbalanced, right? And I see what's actually imbalanced and what you're starting to recognize that may be bothering you a bit during this time. Again, I think that there's an uncomfortability for everyone. And that's why we're all here for one another, is so that we don't feel alone in that, okay? Like, understand it, accept it, but know that you're not the only one. You are I know, right? So, because I see that the foundations of well, certain elements of you, like not your air, like you have none, most of the signs actually, also this mid-month, you don't have any swords here. There's nothing of your own element. And it's interesting that it's happened that way all the way through. It's quite rare, actually. I think Sagittarius was the first one to actually have it, but that's probably because Saturn just went through their sign, and now Saturn's like, have you learned your lesson, buddy? Because if you, sorry, I didn't mean to point. But if you haven't, like, that's, then you're going to get, that's like a swift kick in the ass. But the point is that the foundations of your friendships are being questioned. The foundations of your financial situation are being questioned. You're not alone in this process. It's not necessarily easy. How you feel is that you don't feel supported during this time. You don't really feel like your friendships are that. The ones that you are able to physically be near are not, they're not available during this time. And the ones that, even the ones that are near to you, to your heart, are not really reachable either. Regardless of distance. There's something like in between you. That's what you feel like. I also see that every element besides the air element you kind of have an issue with. Or all the issues that you have within your like fiery realm. Your inspiration, your passion, your motivation, your emotions, and how grounded you are, and all of those things, particularly when they're upside down. I see that is stressing you out. And really what it is a test. It's asking you to really consider, are you standing on shaky ground? What ground are you connected to? What is it? What is it? I guess that's what it is what is it? Can it withstand X amount of weight? Or are you just going to sink? That's what the universe is giving you as the test. Well, I don't care for that word, the one verse. And that's weird, right, when we talk about space being infinite, because you guys kind of love science or whatever. I mean, I love science too, but it's so full of lies. But unless you do your own and actually use scientific method, and it's really fun. Kind of like Mr. Wizard sort of experiments, you know what I mean? Like actual factual, tactile realism there. Like, it's like for you, there's something about it where during this time you need you desire, well, you want the tangible, okay, but you can't have it yet. And your emotions don't feel that good in general, so it's sort of, there's a possibility of it being really thrown off. But I also see that there's very much a mirror world here, and it goes back to uncomfortability. Like, this is interesting. This woman, Anita, that is on the Opal Oracle family, she's cool. She just, like, healed herself from some sort of serious liver problems, and just got herself in shape and changed her whole life, and, had to go through a really lot of, like, uncomfortable things. But now here she is, like, rah! I mean, I hope that she continues to nurture herself, because that's a lot of power to switcheroo like that, But the point is that she sent me this video. She really likes Pink, and I actually remember Pink when she first came out when I lived in Rhode Island. I was like like young, I don't know, like a teenager or something, early 20s. But anyway, how she performs now, a lot of her touring, is she does these like aerial sort of, I'm guessing that she's really all like fully linked in, but you know, she also does like silk aerials and things, which I love. That's so much fun. If you ever get a chance to do it, it's fascinating, especially like if you have a lot of air in your chart, you'll be excited about it. But anyway, she does these amazing performances, and I'm sure it's really fun for her too, but she sings the whole time. It's like Janet Jackson in dancing like a fucking maniac and singing the whole time and like not missing a beat, never sounding out of breath. It's beautiful. But the way how she began this whole process is she linked up with this aerial artist and was like, I want to sing and do all this, and she's like, okay, and brought her down to this local playground, had her hang upside down on the monkey bars, and this woman's like, I'm going to punch you in the stomach and you sing while you hang upside down. And if you can handle that, you know, then you can handle aerial work and singing. Now she does like, you know, 3-hour concerts, whatever. I'm sure she takes a break, but really, what stamina, right? And that's kind of what all this earthly pentacle is it's teaching you as an air sign. Capricorn's strong, you know, but also remember that it's all, well, at least where I'm from, it's winter too. It's an interesting time, but the point is that Earth goes slow. You know, it's a steady forward movement that is determined. It doesn't give up. It's sure-footed. You know, like the goat. You know, if the goat was ever afraid, even in a moment, it would fall. You know, because part of the reason why a goat is able to climb these mountains, you know, to reach the top, which, as a side note, the only reason why they want to reach the top is because they feel safer up there. They don't feel safe, like, on Taurian land. You know, if that makes sense. Like, straight just on the earth, like on a flat plain. Well, the mountains are still on a flat plain, but the point is that, it has a little, supposedly it has this little sensor, which sounds so mechanical when we say it now because it's 2017, but what it is it's basically like our inner ear or something. You know, it just helps it understand where it is and what the next step needs to be. And it goes one step at a time. Sometimes it will have a little quicker of a movement, but it's more about the slow and steady. I feel like the turtle is strong for you, like a terrapin turtle for you this month. It certainly is challenging, though. But nothing that you cannot achieve. I mean, you have the Ace of Cups on the bottom, and beneath that, the Ace of Wands. And there's your first sword, actually, which is 5 of Swords in the reverse. Which begs me to ask you, what are you motivated by? Where does your motivation go when you feel unstable? How much do you understand how much do you understand about your own emotions and the way that they affect I particularly see money, like worth, you know, but it does, I mean, we live in this time. I'd love for it to constantly be spiritual and we could just have art parties and like live in tree houses. That'd be great. But for now, I mean, it's just all the holidays too. People, you know, sometimes it can be a tough time, but it's important because you have this blessing here. You have these 2 blessings here, but they're the undercurrent. So that either means that this could be going on, and you have one in each hand, and what that happens to do is actually throw you off when, like, in a way your life feels like almost too good. It's like you got to make a problem about it. And like psychologically, like unconsciously, something makes you feel off kilter. Hold on, I just saw something, but I don't know how long this is. 15. Okay, so this is also your inner child, okay? I see it. And this, it's like, it goes back to this mirroring. I heard someone's missing the point. Turn it around, is what it said. Okay, very different story. Completely different story. It's a perspective. Okay, that's where you need to pay attention to your mind, okay? Okay, now I see you knowing what you hold in your hands. Now I see you knowing, like you're still doing the introspection and consideration to what the fiery, earthly, watery parts of yourself and who you attach to, who you connect with, okay? Like, am I drawn to really emotional people? Am I drawn to really fiery people? Am I drawn to really, like, slow, calculated, more earthy, like, sensual people? Like, what is it? What is it about people that I'm attracted to? And do I recognize that the things that I am attracted to, that I enjoy, that I love, that I appreciate, I am those things? Do I tend to be around more people that show me a very positive mirror? Or is it something that I don't necessarily like? But I see here that it's definitely more in the positive realm, and I see here as well that your fiery, the aspects of yourself that are within the fire realm, particularly those who have like strong Leo in their chart, and it's all significant placement, but that's the least aware out of all of them, okay? And your earth elements are kind of like, look at your fire like, well, no, that was kind of rude. It's not really that. It's just like the earth looks at them in concern, okay? But your emotions are like looking you in the face, but with a smile, like they know that you're looking at them back, if that makes sense, okay? There's a strong awareness if you can do that switch of perspective, okay, and turn it around for yourself, because it's quite clear she's looking right at you, okay? They're looking right at you. And remember that you can only do one thing at a time, okay? That's what all this earth is for, okay? And you know what, I do see here that you like drop the ball, but what you're actually dropping I heard that you need money to have magic. That you need physical worth, physical justification for your worth. Your worth is infinitely strong. It most definitely, utterly interwoven into everything else. But you have to look at it at this time like like from a child's perspective, because I see you getting some sort of news that has to do with work that causes you to be, causes you to question something. Hence all those pentacles that originally were in the reverse. The only one upright, screaming, and balance, you know, like, that's pretty straightforward. But the point is that you go from the page to the knight, which is good. Okay? This person in the middle, this is your, actually, your outer influences position. Okay? So originally speaking, the outer influence, again, is testing you. Like, I guess we can go over this, to sum it up, is that you may be challenged in, well, I guess it's hard for me to sum it up because that was a lot deeper than, you know, a 3-sentence, 4-sentence thing, but right now, this time period is about acceptance. It's about you understanding a different perspective of your own worth, okay? And knowing that whatever the information is that you gain during this time, I see you actually, for whatever reason, even though this is the page, that's a big, huge pentacle, okay? I hope you can see that. Okay? And there's 4 total, so it just means that you need to budget during this time, okay? But it doesn't mean that you're not going to have enough, especially with strength. I also see that whatever it is, the outer influence that's causing you to be and feel this uncomfortability for whatever reason, to see how you react. And I heard initially, it does matter, but you have like a, kind of like a second chance of sorts. It's whether you recognize, if you may, okay, it's like this. You end up finding something out, right? That you weren't expecting. Something happens. And your initial reaction is like, okay, I got it. And then you internally, like, everything gets turned around for whatever reason, and it makes you react in such a way that that you know is completely unproductive, right? Well, as long as you recognize what the issue was, and took the steps to resolve each of those steps, you don't have to get it done, because that's another thing. This Capricorn's not like, you'll get it done today. It's just like, recognize what it was, and then keep moving forward. Like, okay, say something again that came about, weren't expecting. Capricorn doesn't expect you, again, I feel the need to tell you this again, like, to solve the process tomorrow, okay? Maybe you'll have a week to solve it, to work it out, you know, but again, it goes back to, did you recognize because we were talking about the foundations of things, right? It's like, you have to understand that, yeah, some of these friendships, some of these connections to yourself, to your psyche, to your lack of, for whatever reason, like, feeling, because Aquarian people put on, like, I mean, no offense, like, you wear a beautiful, like, stoic face. You can see, and you mean it, you know, but you don't really express your feelings, you know, and that's okay for a while, but then what happens, you know what I mean, like, time's up, right? You gotta let it out. Maybe that's what this big ass cup is too. It's like, here I am. Scorpio got this too, like, let me out. Let me out. So they're water, you know? They're releasing themselves. It's like, You're releasing a part of you that isn't necessarily yours, that causes you to feel really imbalanced. I sense it from outside of you. I mean, a lot of earth here too. You could be dealing with an earth sign, but again, it's all earth in you too. Okay. Let's do one quick oracle, huh? I don't know how maybe it will be slow. Who knows? Aquarius. The advice is writing would be really helpful, like journaling. I don't know if any of you write short stories or poetry or just whatever, unconscious writing. Just write. It would be very good for you. I also see that there's an advice to let you know that healing doesn't come quickly. Okay? And that a white lie is still a lie. So when someone says, I mean, we live in 2017, so like there's a lot of contradictions to things, but I would say that when you say, if someone says to you like, hey, how you doing? And you go, fine, or good, but you know, you're shooting out the energy that everything's totally not good, like everybody can tell, okay? So it's okay for you to be like, I'm okay. You know, you don't have to be like, I'm okay. But, you know, just kind of letting it out in a little bit of a way to just let people know, like, yeah, I'm not really okay, but I know that I'll be okay. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. I love that from the 90s. Oh, look at that. There's the Chariot and the Ten of Cups and the Fool. See, you're fine. It's also, if you do have any friends, you know, maybe that's what it is too. Maybe you're not able to connect to people now. Maybe they're far away from you or something, or they're just busy, their own families, whatever it is. But maybe you can just write them a little note. You don't got to write them a big-ass letter if you don't want to. But maybe just write them a note to let them know how much you love them, how much you appreciate them. Okay? Because what you're doing is sending a letter to yourself. Alright, darling? Just keep moving forward, okay? Know that you're learning. Know that falling down and scraping your knee is acceptable. You're allowed to do that. But you can't give up and you can't keep doing it, or Saturn will kick your ass, okay? Alright, take care of yourself.